Brian McDermott brings Reading to Selhurst Park with recent history on his side. The Royals haven't lost here for almost 14 years. Palace with just one victory in their last 8 against Reading. But on current form, a much tougher task for the visitors today. Crystal Palace unbeaten in 9 on their own patch, and they haven't conceded, incredibly, in the last 8 of those. Palace could replicate their home form on their travels, they would not be in the relegation battle in which they find themselves. It's Darren Ambrose to advance. Good run by Ambrose, it opens up for the shot, and he picks out the bottom corner brilliantly. What a stunning start at Selhurst Park. 39 seconds on the clock, and the Eagles lead. A 6th goal of an injury-interrupted season for the star man of last year, Darren Ambrose. Had he stayed fit all campaign, the Eagles might not be in a relegation battle. He might get them out of it with efforts like that. Towards Everson. Goes down. Neil Dans finding Vaughan. Not as far as Ambrose to return it into the middle. It's just Dan scuffs the shot somewhat. Tipped up onto the bar by Alex McCarthy. Palace are claiming that went over the line, but the goal hasn't been given. Danger from both sides. And it broke for Dans. Miscued it somewhat, but what a save. Somehow it stayed out. Stunning start at Selhurst Park. Now it's Reading's turn to come forward. Jimmy Kebe on the left boot, it's deflected. Ambrose just doing enough defensively against Jay Tabb, whose effort looped goalwards, kept out by Speroni. First the block, which was by Paddy McCarthy. And Tabb's effort threatened to just drop under the bar here, not for Speroni's intervention. Victory against Palace's big rivals Millwall on Tuesday was their first win in 7 league games. And they're under the cosh from the start. Neil Dans here with the ball in for Ambrose. So close to his and the Eagles' second, and perhaps should have scored it. Gilt-edged opportunity for Darren Ambrose again. Quality on the cross from Neil Dans, and the Eagles look threatening every time they venture forward. Vaughan couldn't quite reach it. Ambrose in behind him. Forward in the direction of James Vaughan. And the chase here. Putting the pressure on against Ingemarson. The cross behind Everson, but picks out Neil Dans to make it 2-0. Crystal Palace double their lead with 25 minutes on the clock. A 7th goal of the season for Neil Dans, his 6th in the Championship. And this incredible home record could be extended this afternoon. Given the fact they haven't conceded in the last 8 league games, it's an awful long way back for Reading. Moved by Speroni. Vaughan and Dans try and combine, but a head tennis on the touchline. Reading who come away with it though. Launch long for Shane Long to chase. McCarthy is with him. McCarthy's challenge is penalised with a penalty. Referee Bates points to the spots, and a route back perhaps for the Royals. Shane Long fouled by Paddy McCarthy, and despite the Palace protestations, the penalty has been given. Shoulder to shoulder, down went Long. Chance for Reading to get back in there. Shane Long won the penalty and scores the penalty, and Crystal Palace concede at home for the first time in 13 hours of football. Still they continue those protests as their proud record is ended in somewhat controversial fashion, but a really good spot kick from Shane Long to beat Speroni. Here's Vaughan. Well worked for Everson to chase, and he might just get there ahead of the goalkeeper. Palace have a penalty of their own. Alex McCarthy this time, the Reading goalkeeper with the foul. And will there be further punishment as the referee reaches for his pocket? Everson perhaps was going away from goal, but just clipped. McCarthy allowed to stay on the field to face the penalty, and saves the penalty from Darren Ambrose. The goalkeeper has redeemed himself, and Ambrose denied his second goal of the game, and Palace denied a 2-goal cushion once more. Great stop. Drama in the first half at Selhurst Park. We've had as many goals already this afternoon as in the previous 6 home matches for Crystal Palace. Could have been more. Still plenty of time for more, of course, as Reading probe for an equaliser. It's Jimmy Kebe on the R-level. 2-2. Just 4 minutes into the second half. Shane Long, who scored the first from the spot, has made the second for Jimmy Kebe, his 6th of the season, and the Royals have come from 2 down. Great technique to steer that into the corner. Well, Reading are the draw specialists, 13 so far before today in the Championship, the most of anybody in the division, and they're back on terms from 2 down, but under pressure here. Dean Moxey does well to pull it back into the danger area. This is Jermaine Easter, and that's a wonderful finish, and Palace are back in front. Jermaine Easter off the bench and on the score sheet, his first goal for Crystal Palace. He's only been on the field for 5 minutes, but what about this for an impact? Reading going to have to come from behind again. They're unbeaten in their last 5 trips to Selhurst Park. 1997 their last defeat. This is Sean Cummings, well forward. Quebec. To Cummins again. Just want to get the cross in. Speroni palms it clear one-handed. McAnuff there to give chase, the former Crystal Palace player. And that's a good ball in by McAnuff for Noel Hunt to head Reading level again. 3-3. What again this is turning into. And Noel Hunt with his 6th of the season as the Royals on terms again with 17 minutes still to go. Rosewell above Gardner. Reading will fancy they can go on and win this now. But the Eagles haven't given up hope of a winner either. This is Jermaine Easter, who has 1 goal already. Scuffed his shot with a chance, presented itself for another, and then didn't get hold of the second ball either. Gratefully gathered up by McCarthy. What a game this has been, and perhaps fitting that it ends with honours even. Crystal Palace 3, Reading 3.